Now live streaming. Now you can see the edge of the current resident's property, the back side of that. So you can see this is his location. The bridge is to the right, top right of the screen, or top center of the screen. I'm going to come to the south. It appears that it is mostly marshy. There's a little inlet right here, as you can see. It appears someone's pulling up to see what we're doing. Here's a southeastern tip of the island. Pull back a little bit so you can see a little bit better that tip. Doesn't look like there's really anything there to be had. I'm going to take it up a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Appears there's an eagle in the tree right there to the right. So we're still at the southeastern corner. I'm going to scan this piece of property to the... Hopefully we'll be able to get the whole 5 acres in. It's starting to get... Visibility is going to be limited. The ceiling is quite low. Appears to be marshy. Appears to be marshy, and it doesn't appear to be buildable. Alright, this is the northeast tip of the island. I'm going to go to try to more center of the island. Might be somewhat limited to what we can get as far as how low. However, I'm going to try to fly the circumference of the island. I think is probably the first reasonable thing it seems to do. So we're heading west currently. There's a waterway. Looks like it's quite marshy in there. I know this portion wasn't really all that particular of interest, but seeing what's around the circumference might be valuable to know. I'm going to have to come down a little bit because we're getting into more fog. Another little inlet and some marshy areas on the western side. Bring the camera up a little bit. The wind is definitely coming from the east here. So it looks like it's just some cottonwood trees and very marshy on the west end of the island. I'm going to come back in and come a little lower through the field portion. I'm going to come down appears it's all short brush, smaller trees. Let's see if I can get in here and down a little closer into these grasses. It looks like the grasses are laid down fairly thick. Get an idea of what we see here. I'm going to hover a little bit and look around. This is the western end of the grass field. It looks like this might be difficult to get to. If you were, my thoughts from what I talks with Phil, you're more interested in this grassy area. Grassy area over here. We are getting some interference from something. The aircraft is having a difficult time with the GPS signal. It appears that there's another area here. Oh. That will be difficult to get through on foot. I'm going to go lower to get an idea of what this terrain is like. I'm at about 47 feet right now, 40, 38, 20 feet. Don't think I really want to get much lower. I'm about 15 feet now. Take a look into these grasses and see what we can see. As far as water, or see how marshy it is. It appears I really can't tell. The grasses look to be about 5-6 feet tall. It's hard to tell if there's water down in that grass. Let's stop for a second and see if we can see. It's a little difficult to tell. I'm going to scan back out across the horizon, pointing to the east, and continue forward back towards my direction. Yeah, it appears that there's water in that. How much is hard to determine. Right now I'm 1,200 feet from my location on Erickson Dike, traveling at about 1.5 to 2 miles an hour. If I remember right, this tree lot would be the corner of what you guys would make as your lodge area, I guess. See, it appears that there's some water here. No, maybe not. It is just looks like game, something walking through there, laying it down, but very hard to determine. I believe this is the corner tree for, so I'm going to go up and look down at that area, and it appears this is where There's another inlet coming up to the corner of that. I'm going to scan up and turn. To the left of the screen would be to the north. Top left of the screen would be the, I guess we shouldn't get too much higher than that due to the cloud cover. I'm going to come back and take another shot with the battery.
Go home.
Another shot will be coming shortly. Alright, one flight battery is taken. I'm going to try to scan a little more of the south end of the island. See where we're looking. I'm going to try to scan back at the island.
Landing.
Looking back at the Okay, switching batteries. Alright, battery number 2. Okay. Aircraft is powering up. Alright, camera adjusting. Camera's adjusted. Getting attitude data. GPS is locking in. Still live. Okay, we can now take off. Recording. All right.
Has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Battery temperature is low. It should warm fairly quickly while it's in flight. I'm going to adjust the shutter. All right. I'm going to fly the southern region of the grassy area. How to get a better idea of what we can see there. We're at 53 feet. Gonna pan down a slight bit. See what we have in this corner down here. It looks like there's this would seem to be the end with the way that the wind is coming, that the waterfowl would fly in from the west into the wind. So it would seem that the eastern end of the island would be the most suitable for blinds. We're at 32 feet. We're about 750 feet from the edge of the island, on the west, or the eastern edge of the island. I'm flying at about 4 miles an hour right now. The only bird that I've seen is the eagle in the southeast corner. I'm at 32 feet, currently about 1,100 feet from the edge of the eastern edge of the island. Flying to the west, coming into the first bank of trees. Scan up to see clearances. The first bank of trees to the middle of the island. Increase altitude. I'm at 42 feet currently. Trees look like they're about 30 feet. This one maybe. That one's about 75 feet. Into the second grassy area beyond the trees. It appears that there's a small area of little waterway right here that would probably be difficult to go over by foot. Small waterway. We're currently still going west. We're 1,850 feet from the eastern tip of the island, or eastern edge of the island. Get an idea of where we're at here. So you can see this is the southwestern edge of the island along the Clackamas River, I'm sorry, with brushy trees, which looks like very difficult to get into by foot. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I'm going to take it to about 20 miles an hour to get to the far western side of the island. It appears that this brush area here would be very difficult to get into by foot. We're at 231 feet right now. traveling at about 12.5 miles an hour. We're currently 2,750 feet away from the eastern edge of the island. The western tip of the island is coming up, and it's in the top of your frame right now at 3,100 feet. I have someone pulling up. So the western tip of the island along the Klatskanai River is about 4,000 feet, 4,200 feet away from the western or the eastern edge. 4,300 feet currently. That is 4,420 feet away from the eastern edge. As you see, it's quite foggy. I'm going to come back to the east and bring we may have to make a second flight on a clearer day to get a better idea of what you'll be seeing. I'm going to fly the southernmost edge of Anunde Island to determine what we can see. I'm at 300 feet currently. We currently have high wind at 300 feet coming from the east. I'm going to bring it down a little bit and see if we can't get this warning to go away. It's 250 feet, still high wind. This has to be greater than 30 miles an hour at coming from the east. This tree line, currently this tree line here, this tree line here is about 1,600 feet, 1,500 feet away from the eastern edge of the island, the grassy area. It looks like now we are under 20 mile an hour winds from the east. What I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this, or kind of draw this edge and say how far this grass area is. We're at 1,300 feet. 1,300 feet from the eastern edge. So this being the eastern edge here. It appears to be 1,300 feet from the center of your screen to this point here on the center of your screen. It's 1,500 feet from the edge of the grassy area to the eastern edge of the grassy area. From there, the center of your screen, to here, Now the center of your screen is 1,563 feet. So you see there's water in the grasses here. This is a very marshy area. It's about 1,900 feet from here, the center of your screen, to the eastern edge of the grasses. To be right there. Okay. I'm going to come down and fly this edge at a low altitude. Right now we're at 70 feet, 40 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet. Currently at 15 feet. I'm going to try to fly this fairly slow. I'm getting alerts of obstacles, so I won't be able to go too much lower than this. I'm flying directly east right now, back towards the eastern shore of the island. I'm flying at about 4 miles an hour. Now I do hear geese. Let's see what we can have a little opening here, see if we can see a little bit better what this is like. I'm 16 feet above the ground right now. I'm going to go and look down. I'm going to try to go down a little bit more, see if we can see what this is like. We're at 12 feet, 10 feet. There's a flock somewhere in this direction here. This tree here, I think, is the one that's supposed to be the corner of the 5-acre plot. I am looking Okay, I'm looking right now, I'm looking to the northeast. He's the one looking secondary. access to. I'm going to see if I can get higher. The climate would be along this, something in the to get those. So there's the existing property. It's quite wet. Doesn't appear over in this area here. We are getting low battery warnings. This area. I'm not sure what kind of act. This appears to be the area that he would like to have over on this edge, which is the eastern. We're heading southeast right now. And I believe somewhere in here is where turning and facing to the west. I'm going to come down. I'm at 200 feet right now.
Battery level is low. The aircraft will go to the home point in 10
Okay, I will be
seconds.
returning home to ensure that I make it back safely. We may have to do another flight to make sure that we cover everything that you're looking for. I'm going to discontinue the live stream.